Hey everyone, this is Jason with the Schick Plan. Welcome back. This is the channel where I discuss my daily numbers as far as what I'm doing from the saving standpoint and investing standpoint to going from being in debt to ultimately my retirement goals of $500,000 and $1 million. I'm quite a bit behind on where I'm at. I'm a Gen Xer. Life has happened. My original video tells the story of essentially why I'm doing this and where I'm at. But this is a channel to track my real numbers unfiltered. So I welcome you to subscribe and like this video and help support the channel. And all of this, these are my numbers. This is not investing or financial advice. So please, please, please don't do what I'm doing and don't follow what I'm doing because likely it's not in the plan. As I'm far behind, it requires me to take some additional risks in my portfolio that are not necessarily the wisest depending on where you're at with your financial journey. So this is just for entertainment purposes only. So with all that said, I want to share with you the kind of the daily numbers here. So my income and my expenses are there. I save up to 50% of my income with pre-tax 401k, with after-tax 401k, Roth, liquid savings as well. I've saved like hell to get out of debt. July 4th was Independence Day from a debt standpoint for me, and I was very excited about that. We'll walk through kind of the different IRAs and so forth that make up these numbers as well. But I'm a big advocate, proponent of the Dave Ramsey 7 baby step rules. I've saved obviously $1,000 for my emergency fund. I've paid off all my debt, which was exciting. And I used that with $25,000 that I had saved. And so that went to paying off the debt earlier. So I'm at 54%, continue to contribute cash into that on a weekly basis, if not more, and also contribute additional funds towards my IRAs and my taxable investment accounts. I hope to save for a house someday, but that's down the road. That's part of the savings as well. I should say investing plan. So I still have a son in college, and that's something we'll after another year, we'll be able to pay that off. My net worth currently is $66,000 towards that $500,000 intermediate goal and a $1.4 million goal long term. As I mentioned earlier, my investing priorities for 2026 was to just pay off the debt and max out my Roth IRA, which I've done. Those are all in green. But as I mentioned in other videos, I have a belief that the stock market between late July and through September is going to take a dip. And what I've done is I position myself with some investment vehicles or some ETFs that are positioned more towards the downside. I won't call them investment vehicles. They're more trades. They're vehicles for trades on the downside. So I have dog for the Dow, 3 times dog for the Dow, ETFs for the inverse ETFs for the Qs and also for the S&P 500. I also believe that the dollar index is going up. Once October hits, though, I actually want to take a position in SpaceX and just basically put money in week after week after week after week and let that grow. I don't necessarily have a passion for Elon Musk or that, other than the fact that what he's typically invested in has been winners over time. So that's kind of the game plan there. I do follow into the cryptoverse, and that's kind of part of the market timing. Again, that very first video will share some of the thoughts and insights and why I follow them as well, Benjamin Cowen. So Bitcoin, Ethereum's, possibly some altcoins at that point in time. I look for a bottom. We'll have to see when that time comes. And then we do weekly DCAs into my savings, taxable account, 401k all the time as well. So scrolling over here, here's just a quick chart. This big dip here represents the money I took out of savings to pay off that debt, and that'll bounce back next week. Here's a tool I use, and I can make this available in case anybody else have interest, but I like to track my net worth basically in column chunks of 50,000 or 25,000 chunks. working my way all the way up. I like to color code them. So as they hit different milestones, they change colors. You can see how that does that here between 650 and 700,000 as it changed to a darker green and then lighter again as I took that money out. And these are my two goals, that 500,000 and 1.4 million to the far right. So this is my progress tracker to that. I enjoy just updating the numbers week to week and then seeing how things change and making progress towards the goals. I also live a very minimalistic lifestyle, so I can save a lot of money. So that's really, I have to regain a lot of that, and that's how I choose to do it. Going into some of my stocks, the ones highlighted in the green rows here are those investment. I'd say investment all the time, but it's actually the short inverse of the stocks I was mentioning earlier, or the ETFs. One of which too was short semiconductors, and that's been taking the biggest hit. I've done the 3X, the SOXS, which is short semiconductors by 3X. That one's taken the biggest hit most recently as well. So that one's hurting me a bit. And it might even still go up a little bit, but I'll use a little extra dry powder and cash to perhaps DCA down, because I do believe semiconductors are way overstretched and looking for a pullback here into September, October timeframe. The UUP tracks the dollar. I put money towards that, feeling like that's also going to increase. A lot of my investment thesis too here is based off of into the cryptoverse, Benjamin Cowen as well. I do follow him quite a bit. I do believe in that energy trade is kind of hit its bottom near term. I had been in that at a price per share of about 150, and every now and then I'll buy more down at these levels. But recently this has fell the last couple of days, but it had a nice bounce a couple of days ago as well. So I'm a little bit better than what I was a few weeks ago, I should say. SoFi up here has been a really good trade for me. I got in at around 15.59 on a cost per share basis, and it has gone up. And what I do as well is sell calls against that. So I just took it off yesterday, bought back my call and made a little bit of money. But this is another thing where I do want to continue to purchase into SoFi and perhaps some other stocks where I can gain 100, 200, 300 shares over time and write covered calls against them and generate that income month to month. I've had kind of two successful attempts at it, one not so successful. So I'm still learning myself. And I welcome your feedback in the comments. If you think the market's going down, tell me. If you think it's going up, tell me that as well. Love to hear your feedback in the comments about the strategy I'm taking here as a Gen Xer, trying to regain my financial footing. And one of my other taxable accounts here, also again, all the green ones are those short ETFs more or less. And you can see kind of playing out the same way. You might also say, hey, why do I do it in both? It's partly because I don't want to track too many stocks that are too different. As you can see, I'm probably having way too many stocks to track just to begin with. And the goal over time is really to shrink that all down. But same type of inverse ETFs here. And yeah, that's just the latest update. So I'll continue kind of doing these 2 times a week on the updates here. You know, stock market has been going up. I'm positioned where they're going, where I benefit of the market going down. So it's going against me right now, and it hurts a little bit. But again, I think over the next couple months, this will be positioned in a really good way. So got to figure out, I do have some stop losses in mind, and when they get triggered, I will then put in the trades to stop those as well. And I can go into that a little bit later. Again, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. And I really thank you, and we'll leave it at that. Have a great day, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good day.